Welcome. This is the first video I've done in a little while, so apologies about that. It's also going to be a very, very short and sweet one because those splendid people at BBC South Today, thank you very much to them, have done a little feature on the project with the Wildlife Trust that's raising money for their incredible work. And I thought you might not have seen it, you might actually want to see it. So if you do, sit back, relax and enjoy.
Okay, take that, that's for you. Because when you think of how to create great works of art, you probably think you'd need a set of paints. Maybe you're a photographer with really expensive gear, but it is possible to do remarkable things with just this, a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, Si Baker from Netley in Hampshire has used one after visiting dozens of Wildlife Trust reserves to try and capture the nature he sees with extraordinary results.
His work will be auctioned off later this month to raise money for the trusts. Simon Marks has been to meet him.
I went to the Isle of Wight to a place called Alveston Mead and we encountered the fantastic red squirrel there. It's quite difficult to get decent photographs of them because they're very quick, but you sort of pick which image you're going to use to try and capture that character.
Si Baker is working on his red squirrel at his studio in Hampshire. The drawing is part of a collection which includes small sketches and larger works portraying the kind of diversity you can find in nature reserves.
We've got some beautiful heather here, that's sort of a late summer heather, which looks really, really gorgeous. I approached the Wildlife Trusts and said, would you fancy doing a year-long project? And they agreed. So essentially, I've just been touring around England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, visiting 53 different reserves, doing a sketch at each reserve and creating 16 pieces of artwork that's going to be sold at an auction to raise money for Wildlife Trusts.
In order to study the wildlife, Si had to get up really close.
I've sort of been laying on my belly 3 feet away from a badger. I've seen seal pups in their breeding grounds. We've seen incredible landscapes. It's just been absolutely amazing, really, really impressive.
We've got to talk about the fact that you've done all this work with a biro.
Yes, it's just another tool, but because it's such an unusual tool, people are very surprised quite often.
Biros do come in different colours, Si. You're not tempted to pick up a red one for that red squirrel?
That's true, they do. They do come in different colours. However, the colours that they come in are very, very bright. I like softness and light and shade and subtlety rather than anything too brash.
So you've gone monochromatic?
So I've gone monochromatic, yeah. I just think it's got a certain atmosphere to it and a certain, I mean, dare I say, spirituality to it that can't be communicated any other way, I don't think. Most of the time I like to put the wildlife in its environment, and sometimes the beauty, like the reeds in this coot, almost the coot is an afterthought in a way, but you need that focus within it.
While he was working with the Wildlife Trusts, Si wrote to their patron, the King.
I got a letter back from Buckingham Palace where he said that he's greatly impressed by the skill involved in creating the drawings. So that was quite special.
Each location offered something different, and Si is keen to encourage us all to visit our local reserves.
These animals probably, and these landscapes probably only exist because of the work that the Wildlife Trust do. So that's what I wanted to really try and capture.
The finished artworks will be auctioned on the 24th of April. Simon Marks, BBC South Today.